engineer, designing.
Yeah.
That was amazing. How did you ever fall into that?
How I did it.
How did you end up, you know?
Did it now for you.
How did you get into that?
How did I get into that? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the war in Europe was shaping up back in the late 1930s. And we had just been through the worst depression that, you know, from 28, 29 on through the early 30s and up into 38. I was making $17 a week when we got married in 1938. We had a 6-room tenement for $6 a week. And that took $6 out. We lived on $11 for the, but our grocery bill for a whole week would be around $6. That's all. All week long.
Amazing.
And the rest of the money had to go for the electricity and
And
they-
the rest of
it
living, yeah.
yeah, we had a kitchen stove and a dining room stove.
A little different.
And we went to the movies every Monday night because that was ladies' night and she got a dish.
Ah.
20, 50 cents for the movies. And we walked back and forth. We had no phone, no car or anything. But we didn't miss one night in for a whole year and we got the whole set.
Wow.
Oh, set of dishes.
I didn't get one. We'd walk in and there was 2 or 3 attendants there in the lobby in the Methuen Theater. We'd walk in and one of them would hand her a dish. If it was 2 women, then they got 2, just the women got them, not the men.
Were they pretty dishes? Were they pretty dishes?
I forget now. I know.
Well, they were a combination of aluminum and glass.
Yeah,
Remember?
Helen has them yet. She borrowed them from me one time.
She borrowed
call her
your
up.
custard cups.
Were they called crystalware?
No, they weren't crystal.
Comfort cups?
Pyrex. No, they
What?
were Pyrex.
Pyrex?
Pirates,
Oh.
I guess.
I got all my mother's crystal.
Oh, okay. But it was like there was a kind of a carnival wear or something that was given away that's very expensive now. It's a real collector's item.
Oh, yeah?
I was just
Well,
wondering.
that's possible too. Because
Crystal?
each theater would have its own gimmick. Some had bank night. You know, they were trying to get people to come to the movies because there was bad times. And
They had
bank
like
night,
aluminum things that the glass custard cups and all that set in. It was a nice
Okay,
set.
all right.
But Helen borrowed them because
Yeah.
she was using them that time.
yeah, she had company, so she borrowed
Well,
them.
you're gonna have to ask her to give them back. You know those custard cups? I
We'll pay her a
really need them
visit.
next Saturday night. Having a dinner party.
That's it, right?
She moved somewhere.
Helen and Tommy, aren't they down in Pennsylvania?
The last we heard from them, they were.
Camp Hill?
Yeah. They called us one time and they were on their way up to Maine and they were going camping on Mount
Mount Cadillac.
Cadillac.
Cadillac, yeah.
in, what's the name?
Bar Harbor.
Bar Harbor. So we had our trailer and
We
there
went-
was just you
went down there with
and
them.
the
They
2 of us
always
there.
came to see us.
And we went up and we stayed with them on,
He went
Yeah,
out
like
on the
one-
submarine one time, and I went with Helen, because she didn't want me worrying about him, which I do to this day. And we went to South Paris, that's where Tommy's folks lived, right near Poland Springs.
Yep.
I had a nice time all day, but when I got home at 8 o'clock at night, the sub wasn't in, so I had to keep calling the Navy on. where is the sub? What time are they coming in?
We were supposed, this was my first time out on a submarine. We went out on a deep dive.
I was petrified.
And we were supposed to make the 4 o'clock tide, and they missed the tide. So you can't come in, you have to wait outside
Right.
12 hours.
till the
Yeah.
next tide, and so we had to stay out overnight. And they said the shipyard telephone lines lit up because
No
all
takeout.
the people that were on the submarine, they were calling in to see what happened.
Yeah.
Nothing happened, we're just late, that's all.
Grampy, you retired in 1977, right?
1972.
72. Is it?
72.
That's on
Wow.
his license plate. RT 72.
Nice.
That's easy to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
From the
Yeah.
Portsmouth Navy Yard, right?
Right.
So that's a nice, healthy retirement, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Yeah. That must be
38
around
years.
like your age.
No, I wasn't even thought of.
Oh.
I came in 75.
Oh. Okay.
How about that?
I was
Limited edition
67,
75.
so.
yeah.
So it's almost
Just old, I've been retired for 38 years.
What's your secret?
Secret?
Seriously.
Well, they
You're in
always
great
ask
shape.
me that, and I say you have to keep
Your memory is
nose
impeccable.
Keep your nose
Keep your nose clean, okay? So.
That's it. Yeah.
clean. Keep your nose clean.
Mm-hmm.
Play it straight, and do what you can to help one another.
That's it.
That's not what you told the
And that-
bishop.
Yeah. And like when people are like, how do you stay married for 70 some odd years?
That's just a
72.
sentence.
What is it?
72.
72. So it's the same advice?
What?
Is it the same advice for like just what's the secret to that?
The secret to it? Oh,
They
I
go on.
just told you. You have to keep your nose clean.
Yeah.
Nose clean
That's
and be good to each other and
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what you
Play it.
told
Respectful.
the
And
bishop.
Play
yeah.
it, play it straight. And do what you can to help one another.
And the bishop gave the sermon at the last mass. We went down to St. Anselm's, and he kept saying,
This is the anniversary mass we went to this
there was
last
about
October.
500 people
Okay.
there.
Right.
We're the longest married couple in the diocese.
In New Hampshire.
Right. So he said, he knew what Dad had said to him, and he said, and he gave a long sermon, and then he said, of course, you've got to keep your nose clean. And he
Play it
laughed,
straight.
and everybody died laughing. And I was so embarrassed.
No, it makes sense.
All right,
it does.
it's
That
straight
said it
talk.
Play it straight and
And
do
they
what
all
you can to
laugh
do nice
so
things
much.
for each other. It makes sense.
People understand.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter what how old you are.
No.
It's
Probably 90% of them
basic.
failed.
Yeah, but it's basic truth. It's like all I needed to know I learned in kindergarten.
Yeah.
You just
Exactly.
be
Do the right
nice,
thing, you know?
share, be
Yeah.
a good person.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
Hey Grampy, is there anything that you've done that you've never done before that you want to do?
Oh, that's a good question.
Is there anything,
That you want to do that you've never done before?
Like skydiving or I don't know.
Bungee jumping.
Anything that you haven't tried that you want to try.
We could grab a Model A and do some rum running around town. See if the cops will catch us. Anything?
I can't think of anything that.
That's good.
You wouldn't turn down a
I
baseball
really
game.
need to do from now on.
Throw the first pitch.
That would be
Oh,
nice.
did you ever get the first pitch in a baseball game?
Did I ever want?
Get the first pitch in a baseball game at Fenway?
Throw out
That would be
pitch,
good.
first pitch.
No, I never thrown out a first.
That might be fun.
You never know. Make the right contact.
Right.
Call some people. You know?
Claudio's wheels are
My
returning.
wheels are turning. I'm always good at
Hey.
you.
So when are you coming?
To New York?
Gee, those kids.
You working on it?
tired
Soon.
and-
That's so nice, Kathy,
I
that
need some
you've got
touch.
everything, huh?
Yeah, I've gotten everything.
That's wonderful.
Awesome.
Nice.
I recorded everybody that's here. There's Carol, Grammy, great Grammy to some, Grampy and great Grampy to others.
Into my-
There's Mike and Alice
Grammy. Grammy.
and Seamus and Kathy. You're supposed to go. And here's Kirk. And there's Claudio, who had all the good questions, and I've gotten you before, so you don't have to hide. And there's Megan and Shane. Look at those brother and sister.
Yeah, the two
Aw.
troublemakers.
And I think you've seen Liam and
Well, now they're just running
Brady
around. No, they
rolling
had-
on the
they
floor
had
right there. They were
excellent-
there.
Excellent attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
They got a
thoroughly
kick
enjoyed
out of that.
Yeah.
That was nice.
And it's just about over
So
for
nice
time
when they
too.
come, and we can have an
What
hour
have you
together.
been
With the-
doing
See
there?
the house.
Taking more pictures
I've been I recorded the whole thing.
on
Yeah.
tape?
Yeah, on a disc. I can pop it out and Alice can take it and put it right in her computer right now.
Unbelievable, huh, Grampy?
Video
world
To
stream.
go,
Yeah.
to go from
Yeah.
no transportation, no telephone,
Yeah.
to an amazing era right now where
Really.
technology is superior to anything. It's just amazing.
We all think
That's
that
a-
we can make a couple
Only
million
if I
off of
would
this
have done
recording tonight.
Yeah, just go to youtube.com, look up
Maybe,
Grampy.
even over your lifespan, you're gonna see a lot of changes from the time you were a small boy. You know,
But not as
and
much as
you get
you've
to be
seen.
95.
Not from your era because you've seen from everything. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, I
They're gonna
remember
just-
when I was a small boy, a plane went over once. And we stood on Foster Street there, and I looked at that plane, and they said, "There's a guy in that plane." And I said, "How could he be in such a small?"
That's funny.
I remember that. I was only a little kid.
Yeah.
I remember doing that. I couldn't figure out how a guy could get in there.
How did he get inside?
It's like the first time I saw the ocean when I was a small boy. My mother, the people across the street took my mother and me and Billy and Margaret to the beach down to Plum Island. And they said, "It's a big ocean down there. You can't see across it." I said, "You can't?" "No." So, and there's people living on the other side? Yeah. So when we went to the beach, I said, "If there's anybody living on the other side, I'm gonna see them." So when we got to the beach, I walked down to the water and I looked. I couldn't see anybody. That's true.
That's funny.
That's funny.
Another thing I liked when I was a little kid, the circus used to come to town once a year and go up to the stadium, the old riding park. It's a stadium now. It was an old riding park where they had horses and a half-mile track, a trotting track. And there was trotting races up there on Labor Day and different holidays. Well, the circus used to come. It was the Sal's Floto Circus. And it came from the railroad tracks down at the other end of Union Street. And the school I was in was the Union Street School. And they had a parade from the train up to the tracks the very first day. Well, there was only first and second grade in that Union Street School. 2 of each, there was 4 grades. 2 first, 2 seconds. And the teachers took us all out every time. I saw it twice because it was only first and second grade. I was somewhere else after that. But boy, to see that parade going by with elephants and lions in the cage. And the last thing in the parade was the steam calliope. A clown, you know, at this thing, and steam coming out of it, playing it like a piano. What a show that was. We'd go up and try to sneak into the circus after, you know, the kids. We didn't have any money or anything like that. He'd try to get by the tent. Be looking under.
Dad, one of my favorite stories is where one of your brothers, there were 7 brothers and a sister, and you were living in tenements, and one of the brothers brought home a goat. And brought home a goat and had gotten it somehow and brought home the goat up to the 2nd or 3rd story, and everybody else, you know, was repulsed by the idea of, I think it's Billy, but I'm not sure, having this goat.
Billy Goat?
Yeah. And
The only goat I can remember in our family was one she brought home.
no, I remember that. But this is a goat in your, yeah, I remember that. Mom was always bringing home animals, which is one of my favorite memories of Mom. But somebody brought home a goat, and your dad said, you know, well, I don't know if you can keep him here, and if you really want him, maybe you can. And one of your brothers, I think it was Mike, said, but what about the smell, Dad? And your dad said, well, the goat's going to have to get used to it the same as the rest of us.
We gotta go.
Yeah.